Bro, kill the sexual thoughts. You either kill the sexual thoughts or you end up a slave to the sexual thoughts. You end up being a slave to your desires, right? And it's obvious that we live in a very hypersexual world that's built to damage you as a man. It's built to damage your relationship, damage your self-esteem, right? It's meant to keep you lonely. It's meant to keep you what? A sexual slave. Because, bro, I'll tell you for a fact that every single man you're seeing out there is struggling with the same desires that you are right now. So far, that person has online access. So sexual thoughts are coming out from different directions. Whether it's from even from the news presenters, right? The presenters are the people who present the news. Sometimes they dress in a certain way, right? That keeps men glued to the screen. So I'll tell you, as a guy, sex has been weaponized against us. Has been weaponized against you. The only thing that you have to do right now is to kill the sexual thoughts in your head, kill the sexual desires in your head, right? Because if you check over YouTube, there are men that are struggling with this thing. If you probably check now, if you type the word desexualize your brain, bro, I can guarantee you that you will see over 1,000 videos of people talking about this shit because it's serious. It needs to be a movement at this point. So if you like any of the ideas you get from this video, because this is like my second or third attempt at this video, please feel free to share with somebody who you know will find it helpful, right? So the first thing I'll say is this, right? Is that if you actually want to take control of your life, right? If you want to seize those sinful, lustful thoughts in your head, the thoughts that make you think about sex, about 3 things you need to do, because if you miss any of them, trust me, you will always find yourself relapsing, going back to what? Going back to watching porn, going back to not having meaningful relationships. Your relationships will end up being shallow. And trust me, if you're with a girl, right, and your thoughts, and you've not desexualized your brain, trust me, she would know. She will know because it will show up in your self-esteem. It will show up in the fact that you can barely go a day without sex. And before you know it, if it's a wicked woman you happen to be with, she will manipulate you for the rest of your life. So I'm going to break this video down into three stages, right? It goes like this. What is going into your head? What is going into your mind, right? Again, the goal of this video is to help you kill your thoughts, kill your sexual thoughts. Is one, what is going into your head? Very important. What is happening in your mind? Also very important, right? And what should you do moving forward? So the first thing now is, what is going into your head? If you think about it, everywhere you turn to, almost every social media platform is being sexualized. And speaking of that, I just remember a particular content creator who actually helps Spain to become better. But whenever I look at his YouTube thumbnails, it's always about him and his wife. He sexualizes his wife on his YouTube thumbnails. His wife too owns a YouTube channel and she sexualizes herself on her YouTube thumbnails. And I'm like, bro, how the fuck are you helping guys this way? And by the way, how the fuck are you helping your wife's image this way? Because, bro, whether I like it or not, that shit is damaging. You go on X, you go on almost every platform and it feels like, bro, this is why I think that there should even be a social media platform for guys to just completely like, desexualize, right? Even X is even the worst, right? But I'm grateful that, yes, if I actually like cut out most of this garbage, right? You're already halfway there already. If you can control what you see on social media, because whether I like it or not, the social media pages are a reflection of what you're thinking in your head. You might say, oh no, they are controlling you. But I'll ask you this question. How intentional have you been on social media? That's a real question. How intentional have you been on social media? Because if you're very intentional about your future, guess what? Social media shows you what you want to see. So the more you engage with those sexualizing posts, the more addicted you are. So your first step is to fight what is going into your head, right? Fight the social media post. Fight the propaganda. You see, one dangerous thing we tend to underestimate is the power of propaganda. Let me give you a typical example of propaganda. Oh, porn is not so bad. It helps you to relax. That statement is complete BS and it's full propaganda because it allows you to see porn or sexualizing people as a thing that is cool to do. And bro, if it is cool to do it, guess what? You keep doing it more and more. And the more you do it, the more you get entrapped. The more you think about these thoughts, the more you become entrapped, right? Again, it all starts with the thought. But I'll tell you this, that before I proceed with this video, I've come to realize that after speaking to way too many men, right? And this is something that nobody ever tells you about, is that if you don't have a strong why to kill the thoughts, desires, you're wasting your time. You would relapse. And that's the harsh truth that no one talks about, because if they tell you this truth, you might quit this video. But I'm telling you this, that you have two options, right? You need to have a strong why to know why you want to quit this thought, why you want to kill this thought. Or rather still, if you don't have a strong why, look back at your life. Ask yourself, what have you really missed by engaging yourself in this crazy thought? Bro, it's that deep. So it's either you know why you're doing it, or you probably have figured out what you have missed out on life. A typical example is there are guys who have missed out on business deals, right? I have missed out on quality women when I was much younger. But heck, I couldn't date them, but it's a way of gaslighting myself. But ask yourself, man, because without you answering that question on why you should quit it, I can bet you the rest of this video is useless. The rest of this video is useless because, like I said, I've spoken to many men, and it's the same thing over and over again. So I'll tell you is free your mind, right? Free your mind from the propaganda. If you ever, this idea of free your mind came from the Matrix, right? Because so one other propaganda you see is, oh, you need to have sex. Yeah, sex is good for reproduction, right? Sex once in a while is good, right? But I'll tell you for a fact, the propaganda of, oh, sex is what you need, bro, that's complete BS. Because what it makes you do is, it keeps you in that loop of, okay, I need sex. And when you say you need sex and you've not done the work as a man to level up to get sex, what do you think happens? You end up going towards porn. And these guys, they know this. They know that. They know that you as a man would take too much effort to go and get a girl. So guess what? They keep telling you that you need to have sex. And you need to have sex. Sex is it's an evolution desire. Keep pumping these ideas in your head, right? In your mind, you feel like it's good information. But bro, it's straight up propaganda. Because they know that most men are lonely. Maybe not you, but most men are lonely, right? And if most men are lonely, the first place they will turn to fulfill your sexual urges are what? Porn sites, social media. So it's a way of keeping you trapped. Now, the second thing we have to look out for is what is happening inside your head. Now, the first step was what goes into your head, because if you can control what goes into your head, right? If you can control it by, one, being intentional about the content you're putting in your head, right? Being intentional about it. And one way you can even do it is start unfollowing accounts that don't serve you, right? One, start unfollowing accounts that don't serve you. Two, if you happen to have like TikTok or Instagram, right? Start searching for things that you actually have interest in, right? Start searching for things that would help you along your journey. A typical example is search for maybe business tips, right? Business accounts, self-improvement accounts. Because to be very frank is that these algorithms need to know that you are a changed person, right? What that means is they will stop feeding you. And by any chance, if any of these baddies pop up on any of your platforms, don't engage, don't click, don't like, don't comment, don't share. Because I see way too many guys in this comment section of these girls do a lot of rubbish, and I keep asking, bro, how the fuck do you think you can get a girl by simping for her? Bro, never be that guy who is engaging in any of these baddies posts, because bro, that shit, they see you as one action in the algorithm. So please cut out your input, right? Second step here is what is going on the inside, right? That is, after controlling you have controlled your inputs. Now you begin to control what is going on inside. Now, one thing you should realize is, yes, we all have that sexual desire, right? But if you don't know how to feel it, how to control it, then trust me, you're not breaking that cycle. And to start with is, one thing I'll talk about that most people don't talk about is boredom, stress, and loneliness. You see these three things? As a man, if you have conquered these three things, I can tell you for a fact that you cannot have, you're basically taking out most of your problems, right? Because sexual desires, all your addictions and sexual desires, they are the most strongest. Is that correct? They are strongest when you are bored, when you are stressed, right? And when you are alone. This is what I tell you as a man. You should embrace loneliness. Now, embrace loneliness does not mean that you don't have anybody at all. It's that when you are by yourself, you enjoy your own company, right? You don't always have to be lonely. I'll tell you something for a fact that the more you embrace your own comfort, your own solitude, trust me, the more meaningful relationships you build. Coming from somebody that, I'll tell you, I'm an introvert, but I have people I hang out with, right? And yet, I still enjoy those moments for myself. So I'm not here gathering information and giving it to you. I'm telling you what I'm living that's working for me and also working for other people, right? Why? So enjoy being by yourself too. Boredom and stress. To be very, very frank, right? You cannot avoid stress as a man. But instead, the more stress you step into, the stronger you become physically, the stronger you become mentally. If you are very intentional about that stress. Now, speaking of boredom, what will help you when it comes to these three things is meditation. Bro, I can tell you for a fact that if you're there saying, "Oh, meditation is not for me; it's for those yogis," bro, you have completely missed the point, right? I see a lot of people who belong to the Christian faith who speak about, "Oh, meditation is for yogis; you're worshiping the demons." I say, you know, bro, meditation is about going within yourself to understand and to be more mindful of what is going on in your mind, to be more mindful of what is going on in your body. So when you meditate, right, you can feel those thoughts. You can see those thoughts when they spring up. And the beautiful part about it is this, right? Let me explain to you. Maybe should I say from a biker's perspective? No. You see, whenever those thoughts come up, like, oh, maybe it's a sexual thoughts, right? And you go and start watching a video and you spiral out of control, what happens is you are so engaged with your thoughts. What that means is your thoughts now control you. But when you meditate, begin to observe your thoughts. So it's like, okay, this is me here. This is maybe stone. These are my thoughts. I can see my thoughts, but I don't have to do what my thoughts are telling me. I'll tell you, as a man, one thing that makes you super attractive is impulse control. What that means is the more you can control your impulse, the more attractive you are, the more disciplined you are. And trust me, the more dangerous you are. That's why I tell you, bro, be as dangerous as fuck. I didn't say you should commit violence, but become dangerous as fuck. So meditate. And one thing I'll tell you for a fact is, apart from what is even happening in your mind, what again is happening in your body? If you're somebody who is always used to what having quick dopamine hits, I can tell you for a fact, those thoughts are also going to be there because your mind influences your body influences your mind. You really cannot separate them so much, right? So if you're somebody who is always seeking constant dopamine hits, trust me, you may follow the steps in this video, right? But you might relapse because one thing you realize is quick dopamine hits also come with stress. And the quickest way to get that stress, to get your dopamine up is what? Porn, right? Simping, doing some dumb shit, having some sexual thoughts, and expelling your sexual energy. So I'll tell you as a guy, so what I'll tell you for this aspect is reduce your carbs, right? Because your diet does affect your sexual urges, right? You see this way, right? They tell you that you should have as much carbs as possible for you to have energy. That's complete BS, right? Reduce your carbs, limit your carbs. And ironically, I've ever noticed that when you're on a calorie deficit, ironically, I don't know for you, but for me, when I'm on a calorie deficit, I have less sexual desires. I don't know of you, like I said, I don't know if this scientifically proven, but I'm giving you what I see that works for me. When I'm doing my 75 hours or something, when I'm on a calorie deficit, it's just so goddamn easy, man, to get rid of these sexual thoughts. Like I said, everything starts with your thoughts. Now, I told you your first step is to control what is going into your head, most especially through social media, through the media, right? Now, you've controlled what's going on in your head. Now, you control what is going on in your body through meditation, right? Or you control your diet. You limit, you control your stress. Very important. You control your stress. You find out what to, you enjoy boredom, right? And you enjoy being lonely. You see, if you're somebody who runs away whenever you feel these emotions, you're fucked. But these emotions, whenever you feel them, especially when you feel them based on a condition, trust me, it's easy to fall victim for any vices. In short, all of your weird desires are strongest at that moment. Now, the third step, which is, what should you do moving forward? Now, let me leave you with these statements, right? Doing anything that is worthwhile, doing anything that is I'll make you super proud, takes intentions, takes effort. But doing something that's degenerative needs you to be neglective, needs you to not put in any effort. So I'll tell you this, that see, your first step now is knowing fully well that if you want to get rid of sexual thoughts, you really cannot just remove the thoughts. You have to direct your mind towards something. So there's another quote I'll say again is that the devil tempts every man, but the idle man tempts the devil. What that means is that the people who are most subject to all these vices, precisely sexual thoughts, sexual desires being wasted, gooning, masturbating, lusting, are mostly the men who have nothing going on for them. Now, this step is very important because I can tell you for a fact, and this is why most men relapse. If you stop watching porn today, if you stop having those sexual thoughts, if you stop lusting over women, but you don't have a goal you're working towards, you're fucked. If you don't have a goal, something you want to achieve, if you don't have a mission you are driving towards, I can tell you for a fact, you are fucked as a man. You are fucked. Because you keep watching the next video. Oh, desexualize your brain. Oh, you keep watching the next video. Get rid of porn. You keep watching the next video and the next video, thinking that you need one more video. But bro, you don't need one more video. What you need is a self-actualizing goal. What the reason I call this self-actualizing is sometimes you may think you're working towards a goal, but you're working towards a goal that was set by somebody else. I'm saying that for a fact that if you are working towards goals that people set for you, trust me, that goal is not self-actualizing. It's more like social status, right? But bro, you need to work towards a goal that you yourself set for yourself, right? What that means is I won't tell you the goal to set for you. I won't tell you the goal to set for yourself. The reason is that when you set a goal that you are super proud of, what's going to happen is when you set a goal, your mind now has what is called a filter. Without a goal, nothing to you is a distraction. You begin to take up too many inputs. But when you have a goal, your mind says, okay, for example, now this is my goal. So maybe earn 10K per month, right? And as I'm going towards this goal, your mind begins to pick up what is called distractions. Oh, if I do that, that will distract me. You see, your mind begins to register distractions. What that means is that you are slowly becoming somebody, right, who can achieve that stuff. And your mind begins to take out, oh, I feel this sexual thought is disturbing me right now. And the more you lean into that goal, right, the easier it is for you to get rid of sexual thoughts because your mind is now channeled towards a direction. That's why I tell you, become as intentional with your life as possible as a man. And that's the secret towards life hack as being a man. Just be fucking intentional. The more intentional you are as a man, the easier it is for you to get shit done. And what I'll tell you again now is start leveling up, right? When I say leveling up is, I say a lot of guys try to like get rid of porn, stop the porn, the nofap. But quick one, right? One issue is that they stop the nofap, right? But they end up relapsing simply because they are not leveling up constantly. So let me put it this way. Think about how porn addiction starts. It starts with we engage with one video, right? The next video. Before you know it, it starts having this momentum in your mind. Now think about it now. Now think about how it works. Now, if you want to overcome it, you have to do the direct opposite, right? What that means is start with stopping porn first. Replace the habit. I mean that person who keeps adding new habits. That is the ultimate guide for getting rid of your vices. Right? Because all the guys that I speak to, all the guys that have successfully stopped this shit for real, for years, it happens like this. Oh, they stop fapping. When you stop fapping, what happens is they start reading books. They start journaling, right? They start jogging. They start adding more habits to themselves. Now, to be very frank, does not guarantee you success in terms of money and the rest. No. One thing guarantees you is it begins to enforce your identity as somebody, right, who is working towards something. Precisely when you are actively working towards something. Yes, the irony is at some point, most of those habits, right, will become useless to you. I should not have said that. Most of those habits, because you might not even do them again. But the truth is that the more good habits you're stacking up, right, the more you are reinforcing that you are a disciplined person, the more you reinforce that you are a consistent person, and before you know it, you begin to craft this identity of somebody who can do better. And I'll say again is body movements, right? If you're somebody who can get his dopamine from lifting weights, going to the gym, those shit is way better than getting them through sexual thought. This is where pain, progress, and perfection comes in, right? Sorry, I have like a quote. So I've been having quotes for a couple of days now, if you've noticed. So pain, progress, and perfection. You see, I'll tell you as a man, embrace pain, right? Embrace pain. Seek progress towards perfection. The whole idea is you can't be perfect when you start. When you start, you're going to experience a shit ton of pain. But if you lean into that pain, like, oh, you know what? Right now I'm bored. Right now, I feel like I have that strong urge. Because the moment you stop, you're going to have that strong urge to want to go back. That is the most painful part. But one thing you should do is this, right? This is a proper mindset for you to have. I feel this pain right now to watch, maybe to get rid of this thought, or maybe to stop watching porn, to stop fapping. Tomorrow, the pain will be less. If I endure tomorrow, if I endure today, the next day, the pain will be less if I endure that day. And before you know it, you begin to realize that that pain is reducing. As the pain is reducing, you are feeling a better level of progress. And as you feel a better level of progress, at some point, it begins to look like you are getting close to perfection of completely getting rid of that thought. And bro, that is where real development comes in. The pain is high, but you know that with the more progress you make, the less the pain is. And I'll tell you this as a fact, right? As a bro, is that anytime you're starting something new, whether it's difficult or it's not difficult, the greatest pain you'll be felt at the beginning. The greatest pain you would ever feel is at the beginning, right? And the last tip I'd say here is moving forward is start seeing women differently, right? And for you, because if you're somebody who has sexual thoughts, you begin to see women as objects, or begin to see women as something to be pedestalized, people to be worshipped. But if you come to zoom out, right, and this is something that may make me sound misogynistic, but it's not. It's the fact that they are fucking human beings. Because the irony is, every time somebody mentions the fact that these women are normal human beings, you make it sound like, oh, you're very misogynistic. It's like, no, these are just normal human beings. They are living their lives, right? So what makes you think that you simping over them will make you have respect? It doesn't make you have respect, bro, right? So think about it. The more you get to realize that these guys are just human beings. And now, the part that may sound misogynistic is that, no, I wouldn't say it. Is that, no, fuck it. The men who you see who are up there, who are very great in life, one thing you get to realize is they don't even put their attention on women at all. No, they don't. Right? They don't. They do their stuff. They level up, and yet women are the ones that are chasing them. Do you see this drift? That means is, to them, women are not first place. Women are kind of like second or third place, right? But the women that they end up attracting are the women that you want, are the women of your dreams. So, brother, I told you this. If you want to actually get rid of the thoughts, the first things first is to control what is going into your head. Your social media should be intentional, should be curated, right? Unfollow accounts that don't serve you. The next thing is control what's happening on the inside through meditation. Become mindful. So when the thoughts come up, you're not really controlled by the thoughts anymore. You much more control your thoughts instead, right? This is where even stoicism can help you. I tell you as a guy, why the fuck are you not stoic in the 21st century? Like, there's no reason for you not to be stoic. There is no disadvantage for you to be stoic as a man these days. The third thing is here, moving forward, have a goal that is self-actualizing. That is, all that means is, after this video, shut down your laptop. I'm serious. Start meditating. Ask yourself, what kind of life would I want to build? Have a vision for yourself. And to have a vision for yourself is simple, right? Ask yourself. This is even the bonus in this video. Ask yourself, what life don't I want to live? If not the life you don't want to live, it is called an anti-vision. Automatically, you now see yourself the kind of life you want to live. What kind of life don't I want to live? I don't want to be an average man. I want to live a life that is, I don't want to be average, right? I think the rest are basically personal, right? But I don't want to be average. I want to live in a world that I feel like I'm not free. Because, bro, I'll tell you for a fact, if your sexual thoughts control you, you don't have freedom. You might have $1 billion in your account, but if you are a slave to sex, bro, you're not free. So I would like complete freedom in my mind. Freedom to think what the fuck I want to think and do what the fuck I want to do. That would require money. That would require self-mastery. So my name is Tone Oreye. Like I said, all these things, if you follow the steps, they were orderly, but not really orderly because everything is interwoven. Right? It's not like one step, 1, 2, 3. It's more like you have to keep practicing these ideas every single day. So start with a vision that you're directing your mind towards. Cut out the trashy content, the propaganda, the lies. And bro, you're on the right track. At the same time, meditate. My name is Tone Oreye. Like I said, if you like what you heard in this video, please share it with somebody who you know will find it helpful. Talk to you soon. And bye for now, brother.